Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about how to find your curl type, and then we're also going to be talking about how to find the width, density, and the texture of your hair as well, because that can also be very important when you're learning how to care for your hair. I do have my lovely window open, so if you hear some birds chirping, I hope that brightens your day. So you have probably seen some charts out there floating around that have different types of curls on them, and you're wondering, how can I apply this to my hair, or how can I find what my hair type is? So it's really simple to find your curl type, but there are some things that you have to know first before you specifically categorize yourself into one curl type. So the first thing we need to know is that the curl type can vary from person to person. If you are in the wavy category, which is the 2A, 2B, 2C category, the waves in the 2A through C category can vary from person to person. The curls in the 3A, 3B, 3C category can vary from person to person, and the kinky curls, or the very tight coils, and the 4A through 4C range can vary from person to person as well. It's also important to know that you can have several different curl types on your head. It is very normal and very common to have like 2, sometimes even 3 different curl types on your head. So if you look at my hair, we are on day 3 here. I have not refreshed yet. Some of my strands are looking a little straight, which is okay because it's day 3. Some are wavy. Let's separate my hair so I can give you guys a better view. Some are wavy, and then under here we have very tight curls. So this would be maybe a 3C curl right here. This one right here would probably be considered a 2C, just because it's more wavy. And then my ends, not looking too hot. This is so bad. They're not looking too good today. But I would consider this probably a 3A going into the 3B range. So as you can see, I have a good 3 different curl types on my head. And that is so normal. So when I think about my curl type and what works for me is I kind of just say I am 3A, and then if I find some that's 2C, or if I find some that's 3B, then that's great. But I would categorize myself as the majority of my hair is being 3A. Some of you might disagree, but I wear my hair all the time. So that's what I categorize myself with. So if you think you have very, very tight, very close together, I mean the coils are just very, very, very close together, you're probably in the 4A through 4C range. If you have kind of a looser curl pattern, and some days your hair can be more straight, but sometimes it can be like a nice beachy wave, then you're probably in the wavy 2A through 2C range. If your hair varies from kind of waves at the top but tight curls at the bottom like mine, you might kind of be in between some 2C and 3A, or 2C, 3B. It can vary based on person to person. So you really have to analyze your hair. You really have to look at it day to day and see, okay, what does my hair usually do majority of the time? Because sometimes we have bad hair days where your very amazing 3A, 3B curls can look not so 3A, 3B, or your 2C curls can look like it's 3A. It really depends on what products you use, your application, your styling, how you diffuse, if you air dry. Anything can kind of change the look of our curls from day to day. When you're fresh out of the shower, you don't have any product in your hair, I would take a strand of hair, or a little section about like this. Give small sections around your head a good scrunch. Make sure they're nice and damp so they are nice and smooth, so they don't frizz. And give them a good scrunch and see what your hair does. And if it looks like there's hardly anything there, you're probably in the wavy category, which is the 2A through 2C. If you have nice spirals, you're probably in the 3A to 3B range. And then if your hair is just super tight coils and kinky curls, you're probably in the 4A to 4C range. You can also take a quiz on naturallycurly.com. It also helps you figure out what the width and density and the texture of your hair is as well, which is what we are going to be jumping into right now. So when you think of your hair density, that is essentially how much hair you have on your scalp. So I have very high hair density because I have a lot of hair on my scalp, and how you can tell how much hair you have is if you just part your hair down the middle. You don't do a you don't do a solid part, but you kind of part your hair any which way. You don't pull it flat, but if you can see a lot of your scalp, then you have a low density hair. You don't have a ton of hairs on your head. If you can, let's fix that. If you can barely see your scalp, then you have a high density of hairs on your head. And if you can like kind of see your scalp, not a ton of it, but you can see it, then you probably have a medium-ish amount of hairs on your head. And that goes into if your hair is fine, if your hair is kind of medium, or if your hair is thick. I'm in the thick category of hair. Next, we are going into the width of your hair. Now, when we're talking about width, I mean the width of a single strand of hair. Not only is the density matter, the width matters, and your texture matters, because then you will be able to find products that are going to help your hair to the max. So if you take one single strand of hair, I don't know if you can see that on my finger right there. You can literally see that hair strand.
I'm not even that close. You still see it? Right there? There it is. Right here.
The width of my hair is very wide. It's thick. It is a thick strand of hair. And how you can test the width of your hair is you take a single strand like I do, and you put it in between two fingers, and you rub your fingers together. So if you take a strand of hair and you're gliding it in between your two fingers, and you're watching yourself do that, and you can't feel a single thing, then you have probably thin hair. Your width is very tiny. If you are doing it and you can definitely feel something, then you have a wide width hair. All right, so by doing the strand test or rubbing your hair in between your fingers, that is how you can find the width and also the texture of your hair, if it is fine or if it is coarse. If you can't feel that hair in between your fingers, then you have fine, thin hair. The width of your hair strand is very tiny. If you can absolutely feel that strand in between your fingers like I can, then it is coarse and you have a very thick hair strand. It's really important to know all of these things, because with your products, that can make or break your hair day. Like with me, my hair is thick and it's coarse, and because hair is made up of mostly protein, when you have thick, coarse hair, you have more protein in your hair. So usually thick, coarse hair doesn't need as much protein as fine, thin hair. And again, this can vary from person to person. This is just what I've experienced. But when I use a cream on my hair, it can't be a thick butter, like a shea butter, a curl defining cream. It's got to be really thin, almost runny like a milk, because if it's any thicker than that, it is going to weigh my hair down and it's just going to sit right on top. That is also where your hair porosity comes into play, which I will talk more about in another video. I had a rough experience, it's like 2 weeks ago, with Aussie, their frizz taming cream. That was the only product I used on that wash day because I wanted to see how frizz taming it was, because my hair does get pretty frizzy. It is drier and I don't cut my hair, so I have a lot more damage than other women do. So when I used that cream, my hair was, it was a mess. It wasn't frizzy, which is great because that's what the frizz taming cream said it was going to do, was tame the frizz, and it did its job. But the cream sat on top of my hair and it was like oily and greasy. The product sat on my hair. It was bad. So now I know I can't use that product. It's too heavy for my hair. So I have chosen a few different creams and milks to try for curl definition. But now I know I really need to stick with mousses or gels. So with a more dense hair, wider width, coarser hair, you really need to be careful about the really thick creamy butters, especially if you have a lower grade of porosity. If you have a higher grade of porosity, your hair is going to love that protein. Your hair is going to love the milk and the creams because it is more open to accepting that moisture, and it's less likely for products to weigh your hair down, and it is less likely for your hair to get buildup. It's so important to know all of these things because then you can know what to do for your hair. You know what your hair needs, you know kind of what products to stay away from, you know what products your hair is going to love, and also kind of a trial and error. For the longest time, I stuck with one product, which is the Cantu Moisturize and Twist and Lock Gel. That's all I used. I used a leave-in conditioner and then that gel. That was it. So now I'm starting to branch out and experiment with what types of milks and defining creams I can use on my hair that's going to help define the curls but not weigh my curls down. So a number of things to think about when you're finding your curl type, when you're looking at your texture, your width, your density. There's so many things that we can learn about our curly hair. Sometimes it's overwhelming, but stick to the basics. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was so fun making it. I love learning about curly hair. I love figuring out what I can do to help you on your curly hair journey and learning how to take care of your beautiful long uncut hair. If you do cut your hair, that's fine. I don't, so I'm learning all of the things, the tips, the tricks on how to take care of my hair as best as I can. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave me a comment down below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit the bell, give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more curly hair videos like this, let me know. I'm here for you. I'm here to help you along this curly hair journey. If you want more tips and tricks, follow me down on Instagram. All right, I hope you guys have an amazing weekend, and I will be seeing you in the next video.